Hi everyone, Chef Ralph here, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Chef Ralph's Realm. Today we're focusing on producing a Louisiana-style hot sauce, but with Korean peppers. It's the end of the season here in New York, and I seem to have an excess of Korean hot peppers. So I've canned some and jarred some. I have a little bit of gochujang fermenting, and I still have, well, I still have. So let's do a hot sauce with it. I've tweaked this recipe. This is kind of like a very standard Louisiana style hot sauce, maybe like a Tabasco or a Crystal Southern hot sauce. I've tweaked it to use the Korean peppers to give it a little bit of a Korean flair. And let's see how it goes. I'm going to buzz through it pretty quick because it's a really simple recipe, and I want to get the information to you as quickly as possible. So we're going to, this is 2.5 pounds of peppers that I had. I'll go over the ratios in a minute. Let me chop these and buzz these down. Doesn't have to be pretty because it's all going to go in the blender. Make sure you wear gloves. And music montage. All right, all of our peppers are nice and chopped up, processed. Now for the wet ingredients, I'm going to use a mix of rice wine vinegar and just plain white distilled vinegar. So per one pound of peppers, I like to use 1 cup of vinegar. So we're going to do, just to keep the ratio, we're at 2.5 pounds of peppers. So we're going to do 2.5 cups of vinegar. We're going to do 1.5 cups of white vinegar. And then 1 cup of the rice wine vinegar, which is sweeter. It's got sugar in it, so we're not going to add any sugar to this mixture. Okay. And then we're going to use about a teaspoon of salt per cup. So it's going to be about 2.5 teaspoons of salt. Salt is subjective, so use, taste and adjust. This is Korean sea salt that I'm using just to stay somewhat authentic. That's 2.5. All right, now we're going to put it on the stove, bring it to a simmer, and simmer it for 15 minutes. Do this in a very well ventilated area, or you will gas yourself. Be careful. On the stove. All right, so we just came to a boil. I'm sure you can kind of see it on the stove. Not gonna lie, making your own Korean hot sauce in a small New York apartment, not such a great idea. I'll be back. Maybe. Hopefully. Well, welcome back. All right, so it's rough in here. I have to wait for this to cool. It is like 63 degrees outside. This will be cooling outside. I'll be right back. All right, we're we're mostly fume free in here. Now it's time to blend it up and put it through a strainer. So I have a feeling this is going to release more stuff into the air. So here we go. That should be it. I'm going to put gloves on just so I don't screw something up and blind myself for the rest of the evening. All right, let's put this over here. Let's get rid of this. All right, now we're going to push it through a strainer. All right, that's all. That's about all we're gonna do. So this pulp that's left, I've heard that you could spread this on a silpat or a silicone baking sheet, dehydrate it, put it in a grinder, and then use it as a seasoning. I mean, if that's your brand of punishment, go for it. I could well do without that. So this is just gonna go in the trash. Ooh, I spilled some. Let's get rid of that right now. All right, so this would be the time to now taste it. It looks a little thick. I may add something to it, maybe a little bit more vinegar, maybe water, but let's get an idea for the heat level. God, I hope this isn't a bad idea. That pretty good actually. The heat is there. Oh, it hits you. It's interesting. It's a lot of fun in the mouth. Heat when you first swallow it, kicks you in the back of the throat like a donkey. And then it's just not really like a warming heat, like a stinging heat. I don't know if that's a selling point or not. All right. So, with that being said, I'm going to uh, thin it a little bit more with. A little bit more rice wine vinegar. So now we're, that's a tiny little bit. So now we're about 2 cups white vinegar, 1 cup regular rice wine vinegar. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to process the heat. As you all know, heat, it'll come on and then it'll go, and sometimes it'll come back. This one's doing a little bit, of all that. I may let this separate and strain it again. Okay, that was a little bit better. Before it was just hit you with heat. Now it's a little bit of the astringentness from the vinegar. I'm gonna grab a bottle. I got these little bottles to package it in. Oh, I'm off camera. Hey, sorry about that. I like these bottles, and I'm gonna package it in here. I don't know where all of my funnels went. I definitely had a couple funnels, but we'll use a cup like this in the meantime. And let's ladle some of it into the cup. You know what? I pulsed it a little high. I think I put a little too much air into it. And it's actually starting to calm down a little bit with the air. And the color is actually, the color and the viscosity are right about where I want them to be. I have no problem doing that. It's actually pretty decent. All right, so then here we are, folks. This is a Louisiana-style Korean hot sauce made with leftover peppers from my garden. I hope you like this short video. You could do this with regular peppers. Get creative. Throw in, habaneros, Scotch bonnets, whatever level of heat that you're looking for. So just know that it's like 1 pound peppers to 1 cup vinegar, your choice, 1 teaspoon salt. That's a pretty good ratio, so cool. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Chef Ralph. Hope to see you soon. If you like my content, give a like, subscribe, and follow. Share the videos. Even if it's just a joke and you want somebody else to laugh, as long as they're getting enjoyment out of my content, I'm great with that. So have a good night.